people who also hear the sound. My name is Ceci and welcome to another episode of How to Chinese Character. First of all, it's Yulanjit week again, the Chinese Ghost Festival. If you don't know what Yulanjit is, you can go check out the Yulanjit video that I've made like last year. Let's get into business, shall we? Because this will be one very long video, I suppose. So this is the third episode of How to Chinese Character, and in the previous ones, we've talked about how basic strokes and how to dissect one Chinese character into different so-called Lego parts. So from this episode on, we are going to study each and every one of them, probably. Speaking of Chinese characters, one concept that we must know about is called 保守. 保守 in English is radical. At least that's what Wikipedia told me. What are radicals? Basically, you can consider them as the more important parts, so-called, within the same Chinese character. But actually, if you think about it, it's not really that case, because it's all about perspective. Just like everyone is special in a way, just like everyone else. Yeah. Well, another concept about radical is that they sometimes give out partially or sometimes fully the meaning of that character that it is in. For example, in the Chinese character Ho, the radical is the 3 dots, which means water. Ho is actually river, which is water. Surprise, right? A more practical way to look at radicals is that you can use radicals when you are looking up words in, like characters in a Chinese dictionary. But since we don't have alphabets, we do have to find a way to, categorize all the characters. Then radicals comes to rescue. And in a more modern way, because no one's using dictionary now, at least not the paper ones, and the way is to use as the roots to type in Chinese characters on your device if you're using some character-based typing methods like the notorious Tongkit Shuyafa. And about this concept, one thing that you do have to bear in mind is that each and every radicals can have many versions under the same root, kind of like Transformers. Sometimes they're cars, sometimes they're robots, sometimes they're just a vending machine. So for example, this radical, yo, neat. Apart from this appearance, it can also transform into this, kind of like the moon, but be careful, it is not the moon. And still, it is kind of too general, too huge of a topic to just talk about radicals and just to jump right in, because there are millions, thousands of Chinese characters out there. I don't know, we're not going to cover each and every one of them like one by one without any kinds of system. We have to narrow the range down and then tackle them one by one. Yeah, because that's how humans do things properly, I suppose. And this time, in this episode, we are going to look at the left-right structure, the side-by-side one, also known as in pong in Cantonese. Most of the time they are just left and right. Sometimes there will be a middle part. Just like how politics works. Should I really be talking about politics on YouTube? No? Okay. Scratch that, please. So with the structure narrowed down, and finally we can hop into the actual learning part, also known as the writing hand cam, in this episode. And we're going to look at 4 radicals about elements. So let's get into that. Hello, welcome back to the chubby handwriting cam. This time my hands will be writing instead of drawing. 4 radicals about elements. Let's get started, shall we? The first one is yap. Well, yap is sun, obviously. And yap, the pronunciation is yap. So yeah, the 6th one. Hey, focus. Camera? The camera hates me. And the beauty guru method always working is working. Yes. Okay. So the first one is yap, which means sun. In terms of sun, it gives out like 2 kinds of meanings. The first one is, time, as in like days, right? And the second meaning is about light, bright or dark, because of the rays of the sun. And that rhymes. Meaning-wise, it sometimes give out this kind of meaning, but sometimes it doesn't. So don't be like so, stubborn about like why does this character has yap as its radical, but it doesn't give out at a time or light, that kind of meaning, because sometimes it just doesn't. Example, just as how we've done it before, I'll give 4 examples for each radicals, and I'll try to speak a little bit faster, so pardon my not slightly broken English, because I don't want this one to be like 3 hours long. The first example is 晴, which means sunny, like the weather is sunny. Yeah. And the pronunciation is this one. The second example here is kind of a, opposite case. Ngam, which means dark. Dim or dark, you can't see because there's no light. And dark, ngam, the pronunciation is like this, in the third tone. So these 2 are, light related. And the third one is sea. In my very first video, we've learned this character. Yay! And it means time. Quite literally. And the pronunciation is in the 4th tone. The last example for this radical is jaw. Jaw is yesterday. Well, it doesn't necessarily to be day, in terms of depends on which part of the day that you put in right behind these characters. Like 昨天 is yesterday, but 昨晚 is yesterday night. And this one is a written character, so no one in a spoken form would say 昨天. Okay, and the pronunciation is like this. Move on to the next one. I am using the other side because I am environmentally friendly person. Yay. The second radical is you, which means none. Yep. There's one thing to be to require your attention. You is not to be confused with this one. Yo. Actually, I've mentioned this in the part of this episode where you can see my face. This one used with body parts and stuff because there is meat on them. But you does not mean meat is moon. But this one is kind of weird because nothing really literal in terms of its meaning wise aspect. I don't know how to explain that. Let's just say the meaning part is not showing. It is just kind of exists in a character. Yes, you understand when I give you the examples. The first one is Pang. 2 moons placed together, and now they're best friends. So Pang means peace. Not the one that you parked your boat, but the one that will give you pressure to, I don't know, draw black eye lines around your eyes, and yeah. Pronunciation is this one. The second example is Fo. Well, this one is kind of abstract. You can kind of look at it as to go along with literally, because it kind of describes the smooth or tight fitting of clothes, or yeah, that kind of thing. But it also can be used to describe metaphorical go along kind thing. Metaphorically, hope I'm spelling that correctly. Well, if you are curious, convinced is 說服, while obey is 服從. So yeah, there you have it. The last 2 characters are actually a pair. So it is quite difficult kind of pair. And it is mông long. Both of them are in the 4th tone, so it's kind of tricky to pronounce. What is this? Well, actually it means blur. But fancy way. Okay. So you use it in like poetry or song lyrics or that kind of stuff. You don't just say, oh, my cell phone is covering my face oil, so that's kind of blurred. You don't use mông long on this situation because that's kind of gross. You use it on like, oh, the moon is kind of blocked by clouds, so it's kind of there, but you cannot really see it, so it's mông long, you know. Yeah, I'm sure you know. This one is kind of weird, but yeah. So move on. The third one here is gum. Gum itself means gold, but in this case it means metal. I'm not a really metal person. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I have an Iron Maiden shirt. Hey. Come on. There we go. It is mostly used on things that made of metal, and also it plays a huge part in the periodic table, the Chinese version. If you find a new metal element, slam this radical in, making a new character for it. I don't know why, like, my camera is always mad at me. I do feed you regularly, so please don't behave like that. Metal stuff. Metallic elements. And as always, there will be some characters that use this radical, but it's not related to metal at all. Example time. The first one is koi, a very essential elements that we all need. Calcium. Well, technically it's a mineral, but yeah, you get the idea. The second one is nyam. Is sulfur. It's an element, it's a metal itself. Yeah. The third one is just object that made of metal, which most of us loves. Tin or tin depends on the context. And the last example for this one is nothing related to metal. It is cho, which means raw. An adjective or mystic, a noun. You can't really say mystics are made of metal, right? Move on to the last one in this episode. And we have wood, mo. Similar to metal, gum. This one is mainly about stuff that are made of wood, or literally wood, or something that used to be made in wood, then technology happened, steam engines, industrial revolution and stuff. So yeah, but still we use the wood radical in that character because we're too lazy to change it. Why am I speaking then writing? I should do it like simultaneously, like why? And also plants. Example. The first one is quite easy. 2 woods long. 2 woods make a wood. Does that make sense? This one is actually woods in English, like forest, but not really because forest has more trees. The second one is 曲. 曲 means pillar. Something that used to be made of woods because some hardwoods are really, really strong and very durable. And the third one is a 3-part one. Yay! So 3 parts. Yeah, which means coconut. And I assume you know what a coconut is, so I don't think I have to explain it. The last one is the unrelated example. It is ge. Or maybe I should write it like bigger. So radical. And this one is kind of like Harry Potter's scar, and a mouth here, and a yao here, and then another stroke. It means extreme. So the most extreme location of our planet Earth is the poles. So North Pole is Bắc, while South Pole is Nam. Yeah, the more you know. That's it for the chubby handwriting cam in this episode, and I hope you learned some stuffs. And back to the face cam. Oh hi, it's me again. Hope you enjoy or actually learn stuff from the writing hand cam. Shall we do a recap? Yeah, so we've learned about the concept of radical, one of the parts that is kind of important but not actually, unless you are looking up words in a dictionary or typing in words. Sometimes it gives us meaning, sometimes it doesn't. And in this episode we learned 4 radicals about elements, which are Yang, sun, Yud, moon, Gum, metal, and Mộc, wood. And yep. Let's give you guys a bit of like some assignments and stuff. Exciting, right? Try to look for characters that are made of the 4 radicals that we talked about today. You don't necessarily have to, memorize it or stuff like that. You just try to look at it. This is part of it is a sun, and part of it is a metal, that the kind of thing. That'd be enough. That's it for today's video, and I hope you find it enjoyable, useful, and thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any kinds of questions or something curious, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to this channel for more Cantonese related stuff, or time-lapse drawing, or vlogs. That's it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!